Hey guys, we are starting on our unit in social studies on geography. So remember at the beginning of the year we talked about the different parts of social studies, and so we're going to work on geography now. In this world is our first lesson. So we're going to break stuff down a little bit more throughout this unit, but right now we're going to learn about our entire world. We're going to learn about how we look at our entire world. And what is in our entire world. So this is a picture of a globe. And even though it's just a circle in this picture, it's actually a sphere. So if you've seen a globe, it's just like a big ball that you can spin around, and you can actually look at the different places on the map. So you can actually find where you live on it. So we're going to learn today about where our continent is and what continent we live on. This is a picture of a map, and it's similar to a globe, except it is laid out flat on a piece of paper. So it shows the whole world on a piece of paper. And there are 7 major pieces of land, and they are called continents. And there are 5 major oceans. And that is the water, all the blue stuff around the land. The land is the green part, and the blue stuff is the oceans. All right, this is a picture of a compass. So a compass shows us what direction we're going. So it's cardinal directions. And when we have a map, in order to find a place, we have to know our directions. So we have north, south, east, and west, and we can learn the directions by using this saying. So if we start here at the top and go around like a clock, so remember on a clock we start here at 12 and we go around this way, you would say, never eat soggy waffles. Or I learned it as never eat soggy worms. So remember, if you start at the top and go around like a clock, north, east, south, west. So north is at the top, south is at the bottom, east is over here, and west is over here. And we'll talk more later about these little ones that are in between each of them. Right now, you need to know north, east, south, and west. All right, so we're going to listen to a couple songs real quick about our continents and oceans from Flocabulary.
So you live in a town. That town is also in a state. That state, it's in a country. But that country's on a continent. There are 7 continents. Let's find out about them. Continents, Africa and Europe, Asia, Chile and Australia and Asia. Continents, South and North America, Antarctica, there's no replica. Continents, Africa and Europe, Asia, Chile and Australia and Asia. Continents, South and North America, Antarctica, there's no replica. A continent is a giant landmass. Most are surrounded by oceans. Check the map. Honestly, there's not a strict definition. Most people would say there's 7 of them. Listen, most continents are bigger than a country, but let's start with a continent that's a little different. Australia, surrounded by seas, the only continent that's also a country. Mostly animals you can't find elsewhere, like a platypus or koala bear. Let's move north to Asia, and that's the biggest continent of all by landmass. Asia, that's where more than half of the world's population hang their hats. China, India, over to Lebanon, and follow the Silk Road west and get along to Europe, home of Italy and France. Lots of different countries on a small chunk of land. Europe's north of the Mediterranean Sea. Wanna see the Eiffel Tower high? We with more than 50 countries. Africa's got a lot of, and the desert, yeah, that's the Sahara. Africa, where humans originated. So we're all African is one way to say it. Africa has the Nile and Serengeti. Let's travel west over the Atlantic. Get ready, North America, where the USA belongs. Canada, Mexico, and down to Panama. But don't forget, Greenland has been a part of North America. But depending depends on Denmark or Denmark to South America and chill in Chile, Peru, and even Brazil. In South America, we speak mostly Spanish. In Brazil, they might not understand it. They speak Portuguese and have big trees in the Amazon rainforest with the canopy. Can it be? There's one more continent. Follow me south to Antarctica on a trip. Does it have countries? Well, no. Just scientists who study and brave the cold. Antarctica, where you find the South Pole. And the penguins slide on snow. That's 7 continents on the list. But in some places, we learn there's 6, you see. There's no ocean between Europe and Asia. Some call it Eurasia. Some people list the Americas as one, but whether 5, 6, or 7, this song is done. Continents, Africa and Europe with Asia, chilling in Australia and Asia. Continents, South and North America, Antarctica, there's no replica. Continents, Africa and Europe with Asia, chilling in Australia and Asia. Continents, South and North America, Antarctica, there's no replica.
Okay, so that was our video on continents, and now we're going to watch the one about our 5 oceans.
Oceans, water. Let's move like H2O. The Atlantic Pacific too, in the Antarctic for you, and there's the Southern, so much is covered. We got the Atlantic, that's stretching from way up here to way down there. It's not the biggest. We don't care, the Atlantic's not little. The Americas, Europe, Africa, the Atlantic's in the middle. Ask Columbus, he crossed the daytime. The Atlantic. Yeah, that's a great find. Look on the other side of the USA, it's the Pacific. Of all the oceans, the Pacific is by far the biggest. It's terrific. I mean, you couldn't miss it. Just look at the map. That ocean's huge. From north of Japan down past Peru. Now you zoom south of India. There's another ocean that'll float your boat. Africa's to the west, Australia's east. The Indian Ocean, you know it's sweet. You'll notice me down by the Southern Ocean. It's getting so cold, some of it's frozen. Surrounds Antarctica, no doubt. The Southern Ocean, you'll find it down south. Blast up, grab your ship and park it up north in the ocean. That's Arctic, the Arctic Ocean around the North Pole, the smallest ocean, and it's so cold. Let's go. The Atlantic Pacific too, in the Antarctic for you, and there's the Southern, so much is covered. Oceans cover over 2/3 of the globe, and the trenches are deep below. The water's salty, please don't sip it. Oceans are the biggest. A sea is a body of salt water surrounded partly by land. It's smaller than an ocean, like the Caribbean Sea. Its border is the string of islands to the east. Now, all the saltwater weather in oceans or seas is connected together. Yeah, that's the world ocean. Currents move through in a predictable motion. Currents are how lots of water moves, bringing warmer cold water over to distant parts of the seas. In the Atlantic, you'll find the Gulf Stream. It brings warm Caribbean water up past North America and farther. The ocean is home to marine life. Grab scuba gear and you can see what it be like. Those who hate on tuna, can they please? I'm seeing sharks, squids, and manatees, seahorses, sea turtles, and blowfish. A whale is a mammal, it's no fish. You know this. The Atlantic Pacific too, in the Antarctic for you, and there's the Southern, so much is covered in blue. The Atlantic Pacific too, in the Antarctic for you, and there's the Southern, so much is covered in blue. And there's the Southern, so much is covered in blue.
Okay, so we are going to spend this lesson learning about our 7 continents and our 5 oceans. So, our 7 continents start with, we have North America in blue, we have South America in red. Remember, we talked about the directions. We have north and south is under it. So that's how we would remember the difference between North America and South America. Europe is in orange. And these little spots out here are both parts of Europe. Asia is this big yellow spot. Remember, they said in the song that it is the biggest continent. Africa is in green. Australia is this little one out here, this little pink one. And then Antarctica. Antarctica is actually not shaped like this, and we'll look at in a minute at the actual shape of Antarctica. But remember, a map is a globe laid out flat. So that is why it looks like this on a map. All right, so we have 5 oceans. And if you look, there's actually, it says 6 on here, but that's because remember we said a map is laid out flat and a Pacific Ocean goes around the backside. So that's why it's going around. You got to imagine it being a circle and going around the backside. So it's all that big space. The Arctic Ocean is up here at the top, the very top. The Atlantic Ocean. And if you've been to Myrtle Beach, you've been swimming in the Atlantic Ocean. That is the ocean that's closest to us. And it's in this little spot in between all of these countries and continents. The Indian Ocean is this little spot in this circle. And then we have the Southern Ocean, which is southern, means is part of south. So it is down here at the bottom, right above Antarctica. All right, so let's look at each continent. So we're going to look at Africa. Remember, Africa was the green one. If we were in the classroom, we would be coloring our own map, but we're just going to look at the pictures of parts of what Africa would look like. So we have the little island. This is called Madagascar. Most of you have probably seen that cartoon before, and you think about the different animals you've seen in Madagascar if you've seen it before. So you have animals like you would see in a safari. So in Africa, people love to go on safaris and see many of the beautiful animals. Just look at the pretty zebra and the elephants and the giraffe. So imagine just being able to see these animals just walking around. Like we have to go to the zoo to see them. Imagine just being able to see them walking around outside. Antarctica, remember that was the one that was down at the bottom of the map. Well, this is actually what it's shaped like. So this is what it would look, this is what it actually looks like. It's not just one big flat spot. It is at the South Pole. The weather there is extremely cold. It's shaped like this, and it is where penguins live. So that was the purple spot on the map. So look, see, this is like the iceberg and all the ice and the penguins, because remember, penguins like the cold weather. Asia is our largest continent, and this is where China, India, and Japan are. So if you see, look at all these cool buildings that you would see in Asia. Australia is our little continent. Remember with the little islands around it. It's known as the land down under, and this is where kangaroos and koalas live. So this we talked about in being able to see the zebra and the elephants and the giraffe walking around. So imagine looking up in a tree and seeing a koala or watching a kangaroo jump by. And then we have Europe. And so it is connected to Asia, and England, France, and Italy are all part of Europe. North America. This is, okay, I want you guys to look at this and see if anybody can tell me what's the name of this country. So if you know it, you should say it out loud. All right, well, we also have, I'm going to tell you in just a little bit, but we have Canada, and we have Mexico. So we have 3 countries that are part of it. So we're going to see if you guys can figure out what this middle country is. I'm going to tell you in just a little bit. All right, here is South America. Remember, this was right under North America. It's home of Brazil in the Amazon rainforest. So look how pretty the animals and the land is here. All right, so we know that we live in the United States. That is our country. So I want you to see if you can figure out what continent the United States is in. So if you know it, just shout it out. We are in the blue one. This spot back here that I asked if you knew what it was, this is the United States. So we are in North America. So if anybody wants to know what country you live in, you can say the United States. And if they want to know what continent you live in North America. So our country is right here, and we have Canada right above us, and we have Mexico right below us. So today, for your assignment, I'm going to have a picture of our map with our oceans and our continents on it. On Schoology, and then you guys are going to look at it and you're going to make a map of all of the oceans and continents. And we will work on lesson 2 tomorrow, and we'll be talking about an atlas.